Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are live here at Bazaar of Moxen. A great pleasure to welcome you back to the booth, and a great pleasure to welcome back my good friend and colleague, Raphael Levy, the Pro Tour Hall of Famer and all-time lifetime leader in pro points as well. First thing he says when he introduces himself to anyone, it's time to head down to the feature match area, ladies and gentlemen, because the finals, the top 8 of our vintage tournament today is about to get underway. Raphael Levy, a big fat smile all over my face, and one all over yours as well, because we love some vintage.
So do you know what Michael's playing?
Michael Ruppen, I got the chance, or Michael Ruppen I should say. I got the chance to chat with him only a couple of minutes ago. Viewers would have seen the deck tech we did on his 5-color humans fish deck here, the aggro deck in vintage. Pretty well positioned. He only dropped one game the whole tournament. So we did get a chance to see what that deck was about with the deck tech only a few minutes ago. But Damien Mayer is on combo. Pure combo, it's Char Belcher.
I don't really know why it's called fish. I don't know. It used to be because Merfolk was the deck with all the answers. With
the aggro decks have always been called fish in vintage just because the aggro deck used to be Merfolk. There's still Merfolk in vintage, but it's called Merfolk. The aggro decks are called fish. You don't like it?
I hate it.
You don't like it?
I hate
no,
it.
You're from the LSV school of thought. Don't like non-descriptive deck names.
Yeah.
I'm all about it, man. I love like what's Maverick? What is Nutrigrain?
No, Maverick's okay because it's too like it's a little.
Doesn't describe the deck.
Yeah, but fish kind of describes it.
It describes it wrongly. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, that's why I don't like it.
Zero fish in this deck, of course. Yeah. Only humans. A couple of cat wizards as well. So we're going to see how things go with these guys. Damien Mayer on Belcher, as we mentioned, and Michael Ruppen playing this aggro deck. Really been impressive. Purely, I think, because just decks in vintage aren't set up to deal with an onslaught of creatures. 20 or more creatures in this list. That's not what vintage is about.
And the good ones you haven't seen in a very long time.
Yeah, for sure. Grand Abolish is in there. Mayor of Averbrook as well. Dust off those promos, guys. We're going to get things going here with our quarterfinals. 60 minutes on the clock for the finals for the top 8 here.
Only on both sides.
Both sides going to 6, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That went to 6 already.
And let's start off with the Cavern of Souls, naming human. And we're going to follow that up. The perfect start here is a Noble Hierarch. But of course, it is vintage, and we can start with 2 drops, and it's going to be Dark Confidant on turn 1, not a bad one.
So why is Cavern of Souls so good? Because all of these blue players, they all run Force of Will for the first threat.
Yeah.
No,
can't
do that.
Not the way it works. Force of Will plays a very, very different role here in Vintage than it does in Legacy. It's not just a stopgap against the sort of oppressive combo decks. You've got to have it. You've got to have the Force because the game begins on turn 1 in a major way. We see Michael Ruppen's hand, a Kasali Pride Mage, and another Bob.
Take out the Mox, and that's a modern deck.
Yeah, and a bad one too, can I say?
Not a great one.
Not a great one, no. Just to give you some context for those who didn't see the deck tech, Michael Ruppen is playing 4 City of Brass, 4 Gemstone Cavern, 4 Mana Confluence, 4 Cavern of Souls, Wasteland Strip Mine. That's the mana base, plus the Moxen. And Lotus, of course.
That's very fit to support Manus Rider.
Manus Rider, another card, of course, that's in the list. In addition to hilariously Reflector Mage.
Reflector not very good against Belcher.
The card that famously wasn't tested in Constructed. Vintage playable, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, he's not, and surprisingly enough, he's not running Collected Company.
No, Collected Company would actually be really good. Jeez, Collected Company would actually be really good here.
He can cast it, but not off the Cavern of Souls.
No, that's true, and you know, it would actually give a target for all of the counter spells that have been. You know, it's funny, we see control decks in formats, you know, playing no creatures to blank all the removal spells. In this, we see a bunch of creatures to blank all the counter spells in the other ones like that. As long as the Cavern of Souls is in hand, Ruppen is off to the races with getting those creatures on board. So Belcher on the right-hand side of your screen here with 2 Gitaxian Probes. We're going to see exactly what Mayer can bring to the party. This is a little bit of a fringe deck as well, Raph Levy. So, Mox.
Imprinting a diminishing return.
Yeah, diminishing returns here, meaning the Mox is going to sack for blue.
So diminishing return, 2 blue. It's the poor man's
Wheel of Fortune or Time Twister.
Time Twister.
Time Twister, yeah, that's right. Let's have a look at it. So you can see it does exactly the same thing as Time Twister, except you have to exile the excuse me, the top 10 cards of your library as well.
Except that you have the choice of choosing up.
Oh, if you want to draw 6 cards, no worries.
Back in the dark ages of Magic, that was very relevant because
back in the grandpa times.
Yeah, you had to choose. You had to say how many cards you were drawing.
Yeah,
and you would say, "Oh yeah, you didn't say you're drawing 0."
No,
that happened. Oh yeah.
No.
Oh yes, it did happen.
Jeez.
It did happen.
In comes Bob, gets across for 2. Bob Marr getting in after having drawn Michael Ruppen an extra card. Didn't get a good look at what it was. Gemstone Cavern, 3 counters here. Michael Ruppen playing with precision here. Oh, Strip Mine and Mana Confluence the draw. So flooding out a little bit here, Raphael Levy.
Yeah, Strip Mine very good in this situation.
Not so much, huh? Not so much against the old Belcherino. Here's Bob number 2.
Oh yeah, he could have played the. Oh no, he couldn't have played Pride Mage.
No,
because it's not a human.
No, Pride Mage not a human. Can't be cast.
He could have called something else than like a cat.
Could have named Cat Wizard.
Yeah, because he had the. What?
Okay, a little bit of a handshake. Handshake arena
the mid-game.
The mid-game handshake. We were talking about this. We enjoy always the game 1 handshake. But this was the turn 3 handshake. Looks like we're packing it up. I have to say, I know it's my job to know this. I have no idea what just happened. Let's find out how that game ended, because we've just had a concession in the middle of nowhere. Maybe Damien Mayer just thinks, yeah, well, assembled the combo. 2 bombs, it's pretty good. It's almost as good as 4 Bio Visionaries. So there you go. Michael Ruppen consults the sideboard. Not a lot of options for him against Belcher, although 4 copies of Stone, 3 copies of Stony Silence.
Was there Voltaic Key somewhere? Did he show a Voltaic Key? Oh, probably.
Okay.
Then he won.
How's that?
With the Time Vault.
I didn't see the Time Vault.
Oh, Time Vault was in play.
Time Vault was in play.
I didn't see the key.
Didn't see the Time Vault, but okay. All right, so there we go. That was how it goes. All right. So that's the end of that. And Michael Ruppen rather sportingly offering the game 1 handshake. Something that always reduces you to stitches, mate.
Yeah, I didn't see the Voltaic Key.
Okay, there we go. Do apologise, not doing our job here. Having too good of a time.
I said Voltaic Key.
Well, sorry, I'm not doing my job here. I'm not doing my job. But I mean, when do I? Really? When do I? So Michael Ruppen obviously looking to turn the tables and bring it home for Team Rock and Roll in game number 2. He'll be leaning on those Stony Silences.
I think that would be a pretty good thing.
Pretty decent, yeah.
Pretty decent.
Pretty decent.
Decent plus.
But apart from that, I mean, he just wants to, establish a board presence, get out there and start smashing. While these guys are shuffling up, let's move over to our other table here. We've got 2 other players, of course, waiting in the wings. Well, not even waiting.
You know what she got called on the Cavern of Souls?
Yeah.
Fish.
Because everything's a fish.
Everything's a fish.
Everything's a fish, sure. On the other side of things, we have Mentor on the left-hand side of your screen with Anton Karlinski, and looks like Affinity. Those deck list names up the top, no idea what's going on with them there at all, because I don't know. I don't think we're going to.
It's like naming your kids. You don't ask anybody to name your kids.
You just name it for yourself. I don't think we're going to see Arayo Suratami Ascendant in Marco Arduino's deck there. It sort of looks like this is a Shops deck, and it has a Skull Clamp and a Genesis Factory.
Genesis Factory. No, Genesis. It's not Genesis Factory. It's a Genesis Chamber.
Genesis Chamber, sorry, Genesis Chamber. Yeah, so Anton Karlinski, a bit of a cheeky. He's named his deck the Meta, rather cheekily indicating that this deck is, of course, the most played deck in Vintage. It's the Monastery Mentor Gush deck, whereas Marco Arduino, yeah, just a full on jokeskies there. So in come the clowns from Anton Karlinski here. And the die there is the coin toss, but that's not going to do it. No, of course. After a double Mentor with all those monks waiting in the wings, that is all she wrote there. So Anton Karlinski with his Jeskai Mentor deck is going to take it down for game number 1.
Can you give us a little bit of a few pieces of information about the metagame of this?
So making it to the top 8, we've got a range of different decks getting into the top 8. Of course, we just saw Michael Ruppen with his 5-color humans deck and Belcher as well opposite him. On the other tables, Merfolk in the hands of Camille Brunel, we saw him get in there. Richard Stebbing was someone else we also saw. He's playing Monastery Mentor along with Sylvan Library, so a powerful combination of very old cards, or for the library at least. A couple of other Mentor decks in the hands of Antar Karlinski and Jon Mateo. And then a few Shops decks as well, the one that we just saw on the screen, as well as another one in David Baduzzi's hands.
So we saw the first game being closed by Voltaic Key and Time Vault, which is one of the ways Damien can actually win. His main go-to plan is Charbelcher, a bunch of artifact mana, and just activate. So Leyline of Anticipation during Michael Rupen upkeep. So that means Damien can actually win before Michael lays the first land. So no real threat on the Mikhail's side of the table in turn 1. Turn 1 he can only play a Dark Confidence, so there's no reason for Damien to try to go off during Michael's upkeep. He can just untap and draw and see what happens. Leyline of Anticipation. All your non-land permanents, all non-link spells cards. All spells that flash. Leyline of Anticipation.
Leyline of Anticipation, all non-land cards can be cast as though they had flash.
Alright. So still the same hand that we know about.
So offers the Charbelcher deck an opportunity to go off at instant speed here.
Well, there's no reason to do that because there's no threat in Mikhail's hands.
No.
He could do it just for fun, for viewing pleasure.
Just for the fun skis. Here's a Dark Confident once again. Now we see a card that's really overperformed for Michael Rupen apparently.
Should be a kind of less on the Gemstone Mine.
The Gemstone Mine goes down one, of course, yeah. The card I wanted to mention is the Scab Clan Berserker Raphael Levy. This card has done a huge amount of work for Rupen over the weekend, he said. Getting in most of the time unmolested as a 2-2, becoming a 3-3, and once it's renowned, of course, dinging the opponent for 2 every single time they play a non-creature spell. And there are a lot of non-creature spells in this format, my friend.
Oh, wow. So if
Stony Silence off the top.
If Damien wants to go off, that's now.
Yeah.
Because then everything's going to be Shutsky.
Yeah, Shutsky. Shop's going to be Shutsky with the Stony Silence. We're going to see another Gemstone Mine here. In comes Bobsky. Hitting down to 14. And I think Stony Silence is the slam dunk play here. And yes, it is. His Stony Silence does Maya have a response. We're going to see Force of Will, and that is crucial. So crucial there to get rid of the Stony Silence because Maya cannot go off without through that card. Noble Hierarch, the follow-up play here for Rupen.
After attacks.
After attacks.
Yeah, that's well.
It's one way to do it.
That's the wrong way to do it.
all right. Here's a Ponderino. Here's a Ponder. So if Mia loses this game on 1 life?
Yeah. Well, we'll know why.
We'll know why. Alright, Ponderino here for Damien Mayer, of course. Still hasn't found any lands.
Look at this, 13 life.
13 life.
13 life, it's
unlucky.
It's 4 times 3 plus 1.
It is. Okay, alright, here we go.
Well, I don't think the game is going to go that long, but...
No, we'll find out exactly how things pan out. I mean, Rupen does, of course, have the Scab Clan Berserkers in hand as well, and I think
two damage?
They're going to be brought to bear very quickly. So drawing a card off the Ponder here.
Is there a mana? Oh, Academy.
Yeah, here's the Tolarian Academy. So that's
the expedition map is just
yeah, the expedition map is just not so good.
Oh, it's a 1-mana artifact. It's a 1 mana.
Yeah. Here's Mayor of Averbrook. Now, this is a card that a lot of people had to pick up and read throughout the weekend. The Academy, of course, an absolute powerhouse in Vintage. It is restricted, of course. You can only play 1 in your 75.
Long ago, at the time you could play 4 of them.
Long, long ago, when the world was still young.
In standard,
Yeah.
play 4 of them.
Yeah, that was when you had to mail order your cards in, and they got delivered on the back of a pterodactyl.
Oh no, man, that deck could kill on turn 2 in standard. With the Grim Monolith,
So good.
Mana Vault, Voltaiki. That was in standard.
Yeah, in standard.
Yep.
Jeez. Oh, a long time ago indeed. Away goes the first gemstone mine. We might see here the Scab Clan Berserker, or it could be the Mayor of Averbrook.
What about Memory Jar? Oh yeah, that was in the same format. And Time Spiral. Okay, well I'm not gonna go on with that.
And we're going to see now, of course, again another play, and is it Thalia? So this is going to be a big thorn in the side of Damien May, a Thorn of Amethyst on legs here. We'll see what Mayor's response is.
Ooh, that's
Flashing in, flashing in an expedition map in response to the Thalia there. And in comes the Bob.
But
That's going to get in.
Are you ready for this? Are you
4.
ready for the second expedition map?
No, the second expedition map is really where things start to go very wrong.
Alright, it's now or never.
So I'd be very surprised if Damien May were playing a second land in his list here. With all the mana that you can produce from non-land permanents in Vintage.
You could actually play Serra's Sanctum.
Serra's Sanctum as well, yeah.
I don't think he does, but
Don't think, no, I mean it'd make 1 mana right here, but yeah, probably not
You could, if you have more than one ley line in hand, you can
Yeah.
put 2 and then have 2 mana with
Oh jeez, it's bonkers, mate. You've busted the format open. You've done a Michael Ruppen.
There's a turn 1 kill in Legacy like that. Where you have
Opalescence,
all ley lines, play Serra's Sanctum, Pulsance attack.
Opalescence get in
Oh,
there.
it's on turn 1, on your turn 1. Because
So, reveal to Bob. It is a Noble Hierarch.
Does he get another turn? Or is he going down to 1?
Let's have a look. And a Mox Pearl in the hand of the
He doesn't
Ruppen
have
as well.
double. He doesn't have double red for the.
No, it doesn't have double red with the departure of that gemstone cavern here. But I think Ruppen's just going to get in here, maybe using the Exalted triggers.
Look at this: 3, 3, and 2.
Yeah.
That's 8 damage. He'll be on 1.
Oh.
Well, I don't think Damien has what it takes to win on the next turn.
Well, it's
But-
not, yeah.
But it's 1 mana short.
Yeah.
1 damage
One
short.
damage short. Yeah, it's a little bit awkward here. Not attacking with the Noble Hierarch here. So getting in here.
Oh, he could have attacked with. Oh, that was actually 1. He's a human.
Yeah.
Oh, what?
It does get +1/+1. I imagine.
3, 6, 7, 8. Was he on 10?
No. Attacking with the Noble Hierarch would have put Maya down to 1.
3 et 3, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Yeah.
That was 9 damage. What was his life? Oh well, if he's on 2, that makes sense.
He's down to 2. Abrupt account on the Sol Ring here.
He was probably on 10 life then. Because that was 9 damage on the board. If he's on 2, then it makes sense.
But it's Scooperino here for Damien May. He knows he can't beat the onslaught of these humans. So not the fastest start there from Michael Ruppen either, but certainly shows that this deck really attacks the format from a way that we haven't come to expect in Vintage.
The human.
Yeah.
I think it's great.
Yeah,
I
no,
love
it's
it.
fantastic, and I know.
I love it.
I mean, I'll be streaming this deck this week for sure. Absolutely. As we move across to our other table here, we've got Arrayo Affinity up against a Mentor deck, Jeskai Mentor, Patriot Mentor, whatever you want to call it here. And it looks like things have got started with a Phyrexian Revoker.
So mental misstep, caught, Skull Clamp.
Important card to nab there.
Yeah, but he didn't have the mana to activate it.
No, that's the important point of the workshops, of course, because it isn't actually able to activate abilities of artifacts. You can cast them, but not activate their abilities. Away goes the Phyrexian Revoker, thanks to that evoked Ingot Chewer. Ingot Chewer, a pretty standard piece of technology against artifacts. One of the reasons it's played over something just like, say, Shatter or Smash or something like that, is the fact that it gets around things like Thorn of Amethyst. Yeah,
because it doesn't cost 1 more.
Yeah. Also, let's not forget as well, of course, cards like Chalice of the Void.
That's right.
Yeah. So the Affinity deck here is stuck on a single Mishra's Workshop.
Only 3 mana.
Only 3 mana.
Man, only 3 mana.
You can see the Arayo in the hand of Marco Ordono. Maybe we'll have a look at Arayo because this card is crucial to this deck's game plan. It's trying to play 4 spells in a turn, and once you flip over that Arayo, it becomes huge. It becomes a really, really potent threat. Well, not so much a threat, but a really nice safeguard.
I don't know what he has in hand. Is that Black Lotus? If that's a Black Lotus, then they can actually flip the Arayo. I think he was keeping his the cards in his hand. He didn't want to play them. He's stuck on one Mission Workshop because he wanted to play all his
all the cards in one.
Yeah.
So you can see the Arayo Soratami Ascendant, just a 1/1 flyer for 2, but whenever 4 spells are played in a turn, including Arayo,
yep. Look, oh yeah,
it flips. So here's spell number 1. Here's spell number 1.
Triple blue.
It turns into Arayo's Essence. We may see that
6
here.
mana.
So, no, just a Wormcoil Engine. No worries. Forget it. Don't worry. We had the Storm Count ready to go, but no, it's just a 6/6 lifelink Death Touch. No worries at all. That's going to be a big problem for Karlinski here.
He has swords in his deck.
He has swords in hand.
Just played one.
Swords in hand, though?
Oh no, in his deck, sorry.
Okay, alright. His swords in hand would be very nice here, but we're going to see maybe... It's a Monastery Mentor. Okay. And an immediate activation of its ability. Or triggering of its ability, I should say. That Monastery Mentor is very triggered. You can read all about it on its Tumblr. As the turn gets shifted back to Arduino. Let's see what Arduino has to say about this. Certainly in a commanding position on the back of this Lotus.
Is he? Doesn't look like it.
It's gaining 6 life a turn.
Yeah, but it's just like eating a monk every turn. I don't think that's great. I think the swing back is more important.
All right. Well,
we can take 6, but then he's gonna take a lot more on the turn. Like
Karlinski
for Anton to
9.
block the Wormcoil Engine, he just needs to put the top on top.
Okay.
That's all he has to do to block the Wormcoil Engine forever.
All right. Yeah, fair point.
So I don't think he's in a commanding position. I actually think he's pretty far behind.
See how things pan out here. I don't know, considering his options. See Mox Pearl in hand along with that Arayo.
So it's Tangle Wire, Mox Pearl, Arayo. Is that a standstill? I don't know. That is the same card. Maybe that's the Arayo. Oh, that's the Arayo. Never mind.
So there's the Arayo.
But he cannot cast it because it's blue.
No blue mana at this stage. And a Mox Pearl.
It was Thorn.
So here's Tangle Wire. Going to spin the top here in response, Karlinski. Here's Tangle Wire. Have a look at this. It's been a mainstay of many of the Shops decks in recent years. Of course, tapping down permanents of all types, well, not all types, artifact creatures or lands, of course, and really part of the hugely disruptive game plan of these Shops decks, in addition to things like Sphere and Thorn and that sort of thing.
So yeah, Anton can just draw a card up the top. He doesn't even have to. Like in the worst case, if he's really worried about the Wormcoil Engine, he can just end of turn, draw a card, draw top, play tops, they go.
Alright.
And attack with Mentor. But I'm pretty sure he has more cards to play. It's not like his deck is full of nothing.
No, that's true. It is, of course, one of the most powerful decks in the format. Certainly a format warping card in Monastery Mentor. It's taken a long time for the Mentor to reach the top of the hill, but now that he has, certainly making his presence felt.
Do you think you can have some information about the other table? I think this game is gonna take a while, but
yeah, not 100% sure of where we are at with that humans match there. So tapping down to the Tangle Wire, Karlinski plays a Jace. And now it's an Ingature. That's an important piece of the puzzle here. And it's going to be the Mox Pearl.
So now Tanglewire is going to tap down the
Worm Pearl engine. Yeah, so Arduino can stack the triggers here so that we stack the triggers so that the fading counter is removed before he has to tap his permanence. And it's City of Brass now for Arduino.
Good combo with Tanglewire.
Yeah.
So when City of Brass is tapped, you take 1 damage.
You take 1 damage, yeah, very strong.
Is it you take 1 damage, you lose 1 life?
Yeah, it does a damage to you. Yeah. But that damage can be prevented.
It can't.
It can be prevented.
No, reverse damage. Back in the days.
Yeah.
That was a win condition back then. IC Manipulator was a win condition.
Yeah, because you could, of course, you could tap stuff down. Yeah. All right. So 1, 2, 3, permanence tap down to the Tanglewire here. That Jace can do the big flipski here as well. Karlinski with 1 card in hand after emptying it last turn with the Ingature. We're going to see an activation of Jace, Rinse Prodigy. Karlinski draws. Island in hand, discards it straight away. Can't quite see what's going on in that graveyard. Let's have a look in there. I'm going to flashback something, and it's going to be the Source to Plowshare. So there you go. So that's that taken care of. And now, yes, with the departure of that worm coil engine, I think I'm definitely now on your side of things as well, agreeing.
Do you think it's almost a Scoopski?
I think we're getting pretty close to it. The power of Mentor really are going to come through here. In addition to Jace, I mean, we've talked about Jace sort of replacing the odd Snapcaster Mage here and there in these blue decks, but the Unbound Telepath has also been pretty good after his printing nearly a year ago now. No one saw that one coming.
Jace? No, never. I'll take 1 from the Tanglewire, from the City of Brass.
Yeah.
That's a tasty.
How's that feel? Yeah, that's Arduino's punishment for not playing Mana Confluence.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you want to get caught up on nostalgia, Grandpa? You're going to take 1 from your Tanglewire.
How about these Seed in the Bottles? Huh? You don't know what Seed in the Bottle is?
I've heard of the card. I don't know what it does off the top of my head.
It destroys all the Arabian Night cards.
Oh right, yeah, okay, sure. Yeah.
So all the City of Brass, yeah.
The tech. All right, here's Phyrexian Revoker. It's going to name Jace.
Okay.
And we're going to shift the turn back to Karlinski. Karlinski just putting the finishing touches on this game here. Arduino with 2 cards in hand.
I like Karlinski's deck. I like it. I think he plays very well, and he won yesterday in Legacy. So you can call him Eternal Master.
Yeah.
Well, not yet. He's not yet.
He's in the race. He's halfway there.
Yeah.
He's halfway there.
He won yesterday. He's in a very good spot to win Game 2 of this best of 3 match. So very close advancing to the semis.
Right now considering what to tap down to the Tanglewire. It's going to be the 2 Monk tokens here, leaving the Monastery Mentor untapped.
We talked to him this morning about making a deck with him. He said, no, don't ask me. I just took the deck.
Yeah.
I don't know how to play it.
I don't know how to play it.
I don't know how to play it.
I don't know how this game works. So Karlinski tapping down a land and a monk here.
So it's not a proxy, it's a revoker under the big piece of paper.
Yeah, it's not a very, very bad proxy for the Jace Telepath Unbound. Here's a Gush. That's a big game. Draw 2, return 2 lands. All of a sudden he's got 4 cards in hand. Or it might even be 5.
If you're looking for a hint,
Force of Will.
If you're looking for tells from your opponent, when your opponent lays his cards on the table and starts playing with his pen, you know he doesn't have anything else.
Well, you're either in a really, really good position or a really, really bad position.
Yeah, there's no in the middle.
There's no in the middle there. There's no shades of grey when your opponent is playing with a pen.
Yeah. Yep.
Here's another top. So now the thing you're going to see here, double top means for 1 mana and a Monastery Mentor, you can make a 1/1 and trigger prowess. Yeah. So the 2 tops mean that you can continue drawing and flipping the top and have basically an unlimited cycle of tops. Limited only by how much mana you have. Yeah. So make another guy.
We've seen that combo yesterday. In the Legacy.
And up goes Jace, and in come the clowns. So 3 triggers. So far that is 9 damage there. And Odono down to 17 here. Karlinski happy to keep that top on top. But I think next turn we're going to see a flurry of tops flipping back and forth to maybe close this thing up all once and for all.
So it's 5, 6 bros, guys.
6 bros, guys.
He only has to play 3 spells.
Yeah.
So 3 mana.
And there's 3 mana to do the top 3 times. Thorn of Amethyst is going to be a thorn in the side of Anton Karlinski's plan here, but all the same, with all these fellows, still in good shape. Wear and tear as well at the top? Yeah, no worries. Game's easy.
I got this.
Game's very easy. Here's Thorn of Amethyst. You can see their non-creature spells cost 1 more to play. Anyone familiar with, of course, Thalia, Guardian of Thraben will know what this effect is about. It's usually a restricted card.
It's a stone-shaped Thalia.
A stone-shaped Thalia, yeah. It's a Thalia that doesn't attack and block for 2.
And there's cards around.
Oh yeah, Khan Silver Golem can make it attack for 2 for sure.
It's not first strike though.
No, not first strike.
It's 2/2.
So yeah, a little bit better, a little bit worse. Karlinski here, putting the finishing touches on this match, as we see a Tundra enter the battlefield. 3 mana, and it's going to be Wear or Tear. I can never remember. It's Wear.
I think Wear is done.
I think it's Wear. Where?
To the graveyard.
To the graveyard.
Or to the graveyard.
All right. So a few Triggerinos here on the. Oh, we're going to see something flash back here. It's going to be Gushki.
Oh yeah.
How about that?
Take a mana.
Yeah. Float a blue.
That's enough.
Trigger.
I have to say I'm a little impressed.
Yeah? Just a little?
Yeah. Like by the way he plays, I think there's a. I haven't seen between yesterday and today a lot of mistake from his part.
Trigger. In they come. We've had 3 triggers so far. So that's 4, 8, 12.
A little more pen playing.
16, 21 damage. And the handshake, there we go. So congratulations to Anton Karlinski, advancing very confidently to the semi-finals here, with Marco Odono languishing, unfortunately, behind with his Array Affinity deck. However, having made the top 8 of a pretty big vintage tournament, he'll have to be happy with that result all the same. We move back now to our other table, where Michael Ruppen is up against Damien Mayer just in time to see what looks like a victory, a very comprehensive victory on the side of Michael Ruppen on the back of those Mayors of Averbrooks, pumping up the Jeskai. I mean, when Wizards sort of planned for the vintage format, when this wonderful format was conceived, I'm reasonably sure that the final goal of it was to attack with a 4/4 Flying Vigilance Jeskai Bugman.
I mean, come on, the combo is obvious.
I mean, it's been there for years.
It's a human.
Well, not years.
It's a flying human.
It's a flying human.
Yeah, it needs to be pumped by other humans.
As we bring it back to the booth, ladies and gentlemen, Riley Knight alongside Raphael Levy. A great pleasure to have your company for our quarterfinals here. The semi-finals coming up very soon. Will be a little bit of a changeover in the booth, and we'll be welcoming you back for more vintage action before very much longer. Don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. More humans, more mentor, unsurprisingly. More fish. That's right, fish. Yeah, Mayor of Aberbrook pumping up that the Mantis Rider, just as we intended to do in Legacy. Super impressed by this deck. Super impressed by these players. Vintage, of course. I'm sorry. There we go. We've been following Vintage very closely today, and it's been a great pleasure to do exactly that. Thank you so much for your company throughout today. There'll be more coming along, so stick around. Plenty more coming from Bazaar of Moxen, Annecy. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you back here very soon for more Vintage.